And I think that maybe part of the reason that we have a little more intimate crowd than we usually do, I suspect that there are lots of your friends and neighbors who are standing in the poll lines still ready to vote and make their voices heard. But we're glad that all of you who have chosen to come here today have made it. We appreciate you being here. I'm Brenda Payne, the CEO and President of the Chamber. We have several special announcements to make today, and so we're really excited about some of those, and we're particularly excited about our guest speaker today, Dr. Faulkner. Before I invite Charles Alexander up to give our invocation and pledge, I want to remind all of you that we will have some drawings at the end of the program today. And so if you have not already put your card in the fishbowl, it is right over here. So sometime through the luncheon, I don't want all of you to make a mad dash at once, but sometime through the luncheon, if you'll come on up and put your card in so that you'll have the opportunity to win the door prizes that are at the end of today's event. So with that, I would invite Charles Alexander with TSBDC at Volunteer State Community College. That is the Tennessee Small Business Development Center, that acronym that we all know and love so well. So Charles, thank you for giving our invitation and pledge.
Bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, we come to you today so very grateful that you've given us all the opportunity to be able to arrive here today and be able to meet and greet, get to know one another, and we ask you to help us to remember to keep you at forefront at all times, and thank you for everything that you give us. God, we are especially thankful today that we have the opportunity that we're in a free country to have a free election process, and we ask you to help us to remember to thank those who give us that opportunity, and thank you for putting us in such a wonderful position in a wonderful country. Dear God, we ask you to forgive us where we fall short, where we forget to discuss you and talk about you and pray to you and put you at the first of everything that we do. We ask you to watch over us throughout the course of this luncheon. Bless Dr. Faulkner as he gives us our presentation. Watch out for us throughout the course of the day. Please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks so much, Charles. I appreciate that. You all are going to see a little more of me today than you ordinarily would, because both of the folks who would generally be standing up here had other obligations. Lynn Silverman, who is the chair of the chamber this year, is actually a poll worker today, and so he is out doing some civic duty on our behalf, and we appreciate that very much. And Lisa Byers, who is our vice chair, is returning home from a trip to visit her parents up in Ohio, and so we wish her safe travels. But as a result of that, you got me, so you're just going to have to listen to this, and then we'll get Wendy up here a little later, so we'll break up some of that monotony for you. I want to thank our October new members, and if you will pay attention to their names and their companies, and be sure to welcome them to the chamber as you see them around town, and hopefully go to their businesses. So the first one, and I love this one, is the Anti-Aging Advantage, Barbara Savage, and so I think I need to work and take care of getting into her business pretty soon. Beehive, Amber Holthoffer, Brand Age Design Company, Jeremy Mansfield, Chef's Market, Jim Hagee, Dental Works, Jennifer Clarkson, Dickinson Wright PLLC. This is Keith Denon. Keith Denon has just recently transitioned from his position at Bone McAllister Norton and is now with Dickinson Wright PLLC. So he's been around for a long time. He's just changed identities here. Guardian Detective Agency Michael Sands, Literacy Council of Sumner County, Marty Anderson, MAPCO Mark Mindeli, Barbara Lee, Rhodes Car International, Phyllis Shelton, and the Watermark in Indian Lake Village, Jenny Cox. So let's all welcome those new members into the Now, this is the point at which we generally introduce all of the elected officials who have come into the event. Now, you might think, who in the world as an elected official would come today? Well, we have one. And his name is Frank Frill Sr. Frank, would you please stand up and be recognized? We know that you're not on the ballot today, so we're happy that you could make your appearance here. There are a few other folks who are not on the ballot who generally come, but the rest of those folks are out there waving at the crowd for votes today, I'm sure. We have a special recognition that I want to make now. And I want to give you some information about how this came to be. About 3 years ago, the Chamber, in working with an event called Women Impacting the Community, and we all know that women do, decided that we needed to recognize and should honor a woman business leader of the year. And let me give you a little information about what the criteria is for the nomination for that person. The Woman Business Leader of the Year is someone who provides leadership excellence in the public and private sectors, sustains a record of accomplishment, or contributes to a field of work throughout her scope of career, has had a positive impact on the direction of her business and its profitability, demonstrates leadership and commitment to the community's well-being, and has a high visibility in the community, exhibits and demonstrates a commitment to the highest ethical standards and professional excellence. Obviously, someone who reaches that category is someone who is held in high esteem and regard throughout the community. And this year's recipient is no less than what has been described just now. Our recipient has been in this community for many years. I'm not going to tell all of those years. Among other things, she has been selected as the 2001 Realtor of the Year, is the Sumner Association of Realtors and Greater Nashville Association of Realtors Awards Excellence Lifetime Member, a Platinum Award winner, excellence recipient, has been on that board for the Sumner Association of Realtors for 2 different terms and has chaired numerous committees. Now that speaks very highly of the professional side of this lady's work. But in addition to that, and I'm going to give you her name now so that I don't think that I'm giving any of this away, Rae Collier, who is my longtime from a civic and community service side, has been an active member of this Chamber of Commerce since 1988. She served 9 years, 3 different terms on our board of directors. She served in numerous vice chair positions, including membership recruitment and retention, long-range planning, community events. She chaired the Christmas parade, the golf tournament, the nominating committees. You name it, Rae has been involved in those kinds of activities for our chamber. As far as the Hendersonville Rotary Club, she was there when I came on board. She's been an active member since 1988 there with 21 years of perfect attendance, which is an incredible feat in and of itself. She served 6 years, which is 3 terms on that board of directors as well, and in various leadership capacities there. She currently serves as our new member orientation person and is our Rotary 40th Anniversary Tabloid Chair. She was past president, 94-95. She is a Paul Harris Fellow, was named Rotarian of the Year in 1995, and named the Lifetime Distinguished Service Award winner in 2005. But wait, there's more. No, we're not going to cut this. This is important, right? The Sumner County Family-Wide. She served 5 years on that board of directors, was chair for 2 years in 2006 and 07. She was the YMCA Volunteer of the Year in 2007. She served on numerous committees for the city of Hendersonville and was named the Hendersonville Star New Citizen of the Year in 1996. She serves on the Hendersonville Medical Center Board for 5 years and was named chairman in 2007, and has also been incredibly involved with the Hendersonville Samaritan Association. Obviously, this lady has spent a lot of time being very active in the community, working for the community's well-being, and being very, very visible. She has met all of the conditions and more, all of the criteria and benchmarks for the Woman Business Leader of the Year. And so please help me welcome to the podium Rae Collier.
I know most of you don't see how I am ever speechless, but I am speechless. I do want to thank everybody. I love my community. I love my career. I love my husband, who makes it very possible for me to do all the things that I do. But especially I want to thank the Lord and my parents. My parents gave me two great things. When my dad co-signed for me on a car when I was 16 years old, he said, "We've given you good credit and a good name, and you need to take care of both of them." I have tried. Never get it all perfect, but I do appreciate this. It means the world to me, and to be representing not only women, but all the business people of the community, I thank you, and I will try to keep that good name and go forward from here. I'm exhausted hearing all that. A nap. Thank you all. Thank you.
I'm going to get this to her in just a second. She walked away from the podium now. Of course, we're on something. I'm going to get this to you in just a second. We have another special announcement to make today as well. You know, the Chamber has its own 501c3 foundation, and many of you know that, but many of you don't. But the process of that is that the foundation board is made up of folks from outside of our Chamber board, as well as those people who roll through from a chair's position on the Chamber board, and then on down to the foundation. Michelle Owens is our current chair of the foundation, and that is a result of her having rolled from the Chamber board chair's position and on down there. William Slater, who's sitting right back here, is a past chair and is also still sitting on our foundation board. But one of the folks who has served diligently for a number of years, and you know, we don't let any of you go. Once we grab you, you are a part of this forever, because you're on the Chamber board for 5 years, and then lo and behold, you find yourself on the foundation board for another 3 or 4 years. Well, one of those people who has served in all of those capacities and rolled through all of those positions is Scott Lyon. And we realize that we have not been giving enough recognition to those folks who have given so much of their time and energy and talent. And so today we simply want to recognize Scott for all of his efforts. We have a certificate of appreciation, and Scott, I hope you will come forward wherever you are. This says, Certificate of Appreciation awarded to Scott Lyon for outstanding service to the Hendersonville Chamber Foundation Board of Directors. September 1, 2008 through August 31, 2012, awarded the 6th day of November 2012. And there's a little bit of a gift certificate in here to a restaurant that maybe you and Valerie will enjoy as well. So we just want to thank you for all your service and recognize that. So please, if you'd like to say something.
Well, how do I follow Rae Collier? Congratulations, Rae. Amazing. If anything that I would say to the new members that are here, the chamber is fantastic. I would say become involved, whether it's leads exchange or the luncheons or getting on a committee. So it's just real important. Become involved. And if there's anything that I'll say to the folks that have been around a little bit longer, become involved. Same advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, I have to shift my papers back around here, make sure I know where I am. I think, yes, this is where we are. Now I'm introducing the program. I told you y'all were going to get tired of seeing me up here today. We have a great program today, and I am so happy to be able to introduce Dr. Jerry Faulkner to you, although I don't think he needs any introduction in this room. Jerry began his tenure at Ball State Community College as the 3rd president on May the 10th, 2012. He's an East Tennessee native, two-time University of Tennessee graduate. You're going to have to explain that one. He received a bachelor's degree in '83 from Tennessee Temple University and earned his master's degree in 1987 and his doctorate from the University of Tennessee. I guess that's how that happened. Prior to arriving at Ball State, Dr. Faulkner served as the Vice President for Academic Affairs at Cleveland State Community College. And taught and served for a number of years as the Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs at Tennessee Temple University. This says that since his arrival, and I am hearing this all over Dr. Faulkner, that you have actively engaged the talent and insight of staff toward the fulfillment of a dynamic and forward-looking strategic plan that will guide the college into the future. Dr. Faulkner also had the good sense to bring his lovely wife Wanda with him when he came here. Wanda and Dr. Faulkner were high school sweethearts, which I think is just a wonderful thing to know about them. They married a few years after graduating from college and have spent the last 25 years in East Tennessee, but now they reside in Sumner County and enjoy their free time in cycling and hiking and traveling and doing all of that stuff. So if you will all please help me welcome Dr. Jerry Faulkner.
Thank you. It's a great honor and privilege to be the president of Volunteer State. It was not something that I had as a career aspiration when I started out in higher education, but I very much enjoyed my time in higher education, my time here, as short as it has been. I tell people I think I have the best job in the world. Some days, some hard things come across my desk and I have to make decisions that are difficult, but most of the time I just get to go around the countryside telling people what a great place Volunteer State is. So I'm kind of have a PowerPoint will travel. As I look around the room, I see faces that have already heard and seen some version of this presentation, and some of you more than once. And so there is a little quiz in here, and so I hope now that you've seen this 2 or 3 times, you'll be able to pass the quiz. I was recently reading an article about making presentations, and the point of the article was that often presenters try to tell what they know, and in fact what they should be trying to do is to inform people about what they might not know. So I'm hopeful today that I'm going to share some things with you about Volunteer State that you might not already know. So I said it was going to be in the form of a quiz, and so let's start with the first quiz question. And I won't ask you to raise your hand or give your answer verbally. You can just keep score on your own. I'll be giving out gold stars at the end. True or false, Volunteer State Community College is accredited by the same agency as schools like Vanderbilt and University of Tennessee? And the answer is true. We are all accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, the Commission on Colleges, and so we all go through the same rigorous accreditation process. We all go through the same rigorous evaluation of our faculty credentials. We all report to the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. And so one of kind of the myths about community colleges is that they're somehow lower quality, or their faculty are less qualified. Their faculty can't get a job at university, and so that's why they're teaching at a community college. And that's absolutely a myth. Absolutely not true. Our faculty are highly qualified and highly credentialed. The only difference probably is that they're interested in teaching students and not so much interested in doing research and publishing papers. Volunteer State Community Colleges is one of the 13 community colleges of the Tennessee Board of Regents system. In addition to the community colleges, there are 6 state universities, Middle Tennessee State, Tennessee Tech, Austin Peay, etc. And then 27 Tennessee Technology Centers. We have a budget of about $2.2 billion for the system and serve about 200,000 students. With all of those campuses and their satellite locations, it's important to know that we have a presence in 90 of Tennessee's 95 counties. So in terms of really serving the state of Tennessee, I think we do a better job than that little school up in Knoxville. And in fact, we're a good bit larger than that little school up in Knoxville. So, second question. How many students a year attend Volunteer State? Well, if you said C, 8,000, you would be close to the fall enrollment. This fall, it's actually about 8,300. But overall, counting fall, spring, and summer, new students, every unique student, we average about 12,000 a year. Last year was the first year. Last year we had the full figures. Total enrollment 11,913. Our student body is pretty much a picture of the ethnic and racial diversity of our community. We do have, though, a higher number of females than males. This is part of a national trend that about most colleges around the country are experiencing about 60% to up to 66 or 2/3 of the students that attend are female. My wife says that's because females are smarter, and so they know it's a good thing to go to college. Our average age is about 25, and so we have a good mix of students that are traditional students that have come to us pretty quickly after graduating from high school, but we also have a large number of students that we often refer to as non-traditional. Many of them were displaced in the recent recession. Many of them were looking to come back, and while they may have had a job, to come back and sharpen their skills and gain new skills so that they make themselves more valuable in the workplace. We serve 12 counties across middle and northern Tennessee. We serve a portion of Davidson County and then all the way over to Pickett and Overton County in the far east. And so to accomplish that, we are kind of far-flung in some ways. Our most recent physical facility, physical campus, is located in Springfield. It's called the Highland Crest campus. It's a unique partnership with the County of Robinson County and the City of Springfield, and a private individual who donated the land. And then the county and the city went together and floated a bond issue to handle the construction of the building. And then they rent it back to us at a ridiculously low price. We also share that facility with Austin Peay State University. I was in a meeting with them yesterday, and we're trying to set up programs that will be seamless so that a student from Robertson County or that part of our service area could attend there, get their 2 years associate's degree, and then go right into a bachelor's degree from Austin Peay. Our enrollment up there has exceeded all of our expectations. We only opened a year ago. This is just our second academic year of operation there. And we've already exceeded the 5-year projection in terms of what enrollment would be. It's up 8% just this fall over our initial fall last year. On the other end of our service area, out to the far east, about as far as you can go without getting into Rome State service area, are the Livingston Campus. We're this year celebrating our 20th anniversary of having a site in Livingston. This facility you see here has only been available since 2006. Kind of the story is that Ball State at Livingston started in a closet at the Tennessee Technology Center. And that's not far from true. Mike Powell, our director up there, his first office was literally a broom closet in the Tennessee Technology Center. And so we're very excited about that campus. It is a degree-granting campus, which means we offer all of the classes and all of the services there for a student to be able to earn some of the degrees that we offer. Highland Crest is not yet a degree-granting center, although we have plans to make that happen up there pretty quickly. Livingston enrollment is up 17% this fall, so they're doing really well on that end of our service area. All across the service area, we try to find any place that we can to serve the needs of people in our area. We have a night program that meets at Gavick High School in Davidson County. That is also a degree granting center. A person can attend there solely and get a degree. We have course offerings on other college campuses, Austin Peay and Tennessee Technological. Excuse me. I don't know what I swallowed, but I hope there's no counties in it. Tennessee Technological University. And we have a night program at Wilson High School, Wilson County High School. And so just about any place we can get a facility, if we can draw a sufficient number of students to make it happen, we'll go there, even in some cases to a fire hall to offer an EMT class. Another way that we reach out to the community is through dual enrollment. This is a program that allows high school students to enroll dually, both in high school and at college at Volunteer State. They're enrolled in both of those. And so at the same time they're completing a high school requirement, they're earning college credit. This is a significant thing for students in that they can come out of high school with a fair amount of college credit already under their belts, already ready to move forward toward their degree. We have 1,346 students taking 2,231 courses. A large number of those are right here in Sumner County, and every high school in Sumner County, including the magnet school, participates in dual enrollment. So that's a significant thing that helps people move forward toward getting a degree. If we can't get them to a physical facility, we'll try to reach out to them electronically. We have 296 online classes that are offered this fall. An opportunity for students to be able to get the material by way of the internet without ever having to set foot on either of the campuses or our sites. When we first started with online education, I think people thought that it was going to be an issue of distance, that we were going to serve people in Tri-Cities or in Memphis with the courses. But it turns out it's been more now an issue of convenience, because many of our students work full-time, sometimes more than one job. It's an issue of being able to take the course at an odd hour. They don't have to come to the campus at a prescribed time. We also have 36 classes we call hybrid, which means they do have to come to a campus probably about once a week, but the remainder of the material is online. And that's something we're going to try to do more of, because a recent Department of Education study said that students that take on-ground classes and online classes do equally well if they're equally motivated. But in all cases, people taking hybrid classes do better. And so we're going to try to develop more hybrid classes. We deliver 18 classes by interactive television. That means the instructor is perhaps here at Gallatin, and then the instruction is broadcast by television, live audio, video to Highland Crest, to McGavick, to the Livingston Campus. And then we are also part of the Region's Online College Collaborative, ROCC. This is a collaborative of all the TPR colleges and universities to offer online degrees. There's a total of 22 degrees that include everything up to a Master's of Nursing, and about 6 or 8 certificates that are offered purely online. We have about 192 of our students that are enrolled in RODP, Region's Online Degree Program classes. And so we can't get them to campus. We try to reach out to them electronically. Back on the Gallatin campus here, July of this year, we broke ground on the new Allied Health Building. It'll be about 28,000 square feet that will house 5 of our popular allied health programs. It will allow us to expand the enrollment in those programs, and in the case of the medical lab technology program, actually get it back on our campus. It has actually been housed at St. Thomas Hospital, and so now we're going to get that back on our campus. We're hoping that we'll be able to have classes in that building by fall of next year. If you drive around the campus, kind of around the back side of the campus, you'll see that they're moving a lot of dirt around there, and we're hoping they'll make good progress on that quickly. And then you're going to start hearing a lot about a new Humanities Building. This past legislative session in the capital budget, volunteer state was approved to begin planning for a new Humanities Building. This will be about 70,000 square feet. It will be the largest building on campus. We're really looking forward to this endeavor. It's been something that's been on our wish list for about 10 or 12 years. The catch is that we're going to have to raise the first $3 million. And so you're going to hear a lot about that endeavor as we go forward. A lot of people look at humanities and they say, well, why are you putting such emphasis on this area? Why aren't you putting more emphasis on job creation? Well, first of all, our students take more humanities courses than they do from any other division. And secondly, this is where those critical communication courses are. We hear from employers all the time, we need employees that can communicate. Written communication, verbal communication. And so that's where things like English composition and speech are housed, is in the humanities division. Okay, well, as long as we're talking about money, what is Ball State's annual budget? Well, I wish it was $60 million or even $50 million, but it turns out it's a little over $40 million. About $42 million is our annual budget. And where that money comes from, about 60% of those resources come from students. That's a reversal of the trend that was true back when I started with the community colleges about 18 years ago. At that point, about 60% of our resources came from state appropriations, and only 40% or less from students. That trend has totally reversed over the last few years. We've had 15 to 20 years of declining state support in Tennessee, and that's not all that unusual. This past year, 41 out of 50 states cut their funding to higher education. Also, in January of 2010, the legislature passed the Complete College Tennessee Act. And that also dramatically changed how we're funded in higher education in Tennessee. Prior to that time, we had been funded based on enrollment. How many students were in seats on the 14th day of the fall semester? Tennessee, in January of 2010, became the first state in the union to fully fund 100% of higher education based on outcomes. And so our goal is to get students in, to keep them progressing toward a degree, and then eventually to award them a degree or certificate. And how well we do that will determine how much of the state appropriations that we receive for those come out. So how much does that $42 million impact to the community? Well, in 2010, there was an economic impact study done for the college. And from that study, it demonstrated that for every dollar spent at Volunteer State Community College, it results in $2.84 of impact in our service area. So almost 3 times that budget is being economically pumped into this area. Not only that, as those resources flow through the economy, it generates about an additional $1 million of tax revenue. Also, our students have increased earning power. So that is a big economic boon for our service area. You may remember the headlines that was in the Tennessean back on September 18th. 2-year degrees pay more than a bachelor's degree. This was based on a study done in Tennessee and Arkansas, I know limited to 2 southeastern states. But it concluded that in Tennessee and in Arkansas, persons with an associate's degree on average earn about $1,400 a year more than a person with a bachelor's degree. And so what we also know is that persons with an associate's degree will earn hundreds of thousands of dollars more in their lifetime than those persons with just a high school diploma. On average, about $350,000 lifetime earnings more for those that have an associate's degree versus just a high school diploma. So let's get back to the students. Enough about buildings and dollars. Let's talk about students some more. How many programs do we offer at Volunteer State? Well, the answer is 7. About 70 different programs that lead to degrees or certificates. If we look at our student body, that big chunk in red there, almost half of our student body, are students that are pursuing what we call transfer degrees. An Associates of Arts or Associates of Science degree that puts them on track to move to a 4-year college and to get a 4-year bachelor's degree. Again, there's kind of a myth here that people that go to community college don't do as well. There is statistical evidence. The universities are not happy about sharing it with us, but there is statistical evidence that students that start at a community college do better when they transfer than the native students that started as freshmen at the 4-year college. I think that speaks highly of what we do at the community college. The dark blue area, about 31%, are students that are pursuing a 2-year degree called an Associates of Applied Science. These are degrees that are designed as career choices. They're really not designed to go beyond the 2-year degree, although in many cases they can take those credits and transfer to receive a bachelor's degree. Many of our allied health programs are set up as 2-year degrees, meaning that when the person finishes, they're qualified to sit for an exam, if there is an exam necessary, they're qualified to receive a license, they're qualified to go straight into the workplace. The other remaining portion in the light blue, a majority of those are pursuing certificates. These are programs that are less than 2 years, in some cases less than 1 year. And again, these are designed to give persons real-world workforce skills so they can go out and become part of the workforce. One of the things we've done at Volunteer State is to try to ensure that all of those certificates match perfectly with the degrees. And so if the student decides to go on and to get a degree, all of the courses they took as part of the certificate will transfer into that degree. Those students that are planning to transfer to a 4-year college, again, something that came out of the Complete College Tennessee Act is something called the Tennessee Transfer Pathways. For the first time, because it was a law, it was legislated, the UT system and the TBR system came to the table and created agreements so that a student that follows a pathway at any community college, any public community college in Tennessee, is guaranteed that those courses will transfer into a 4-year degree at any of Tennessee's higher education. So there are about 50 of these Tennessee transfer pathways that cover about 95% of the majors, and we're continuing to work on some of the ones where there are fewer numbers of students, but still where we need to make it easy for students to transfer. And given the cost differential, the price differential between community college and 4-year institutions, it makes a whole lot of sense to come to a community college and get those first 2 years of guaranteed credits and then transfer to that 4-year degree and earn a bachelor's degree and move beyond. Among those Associates of Applied Science degrees, again, those that are career types of programs, we try to stay abreast of what's happening in our service community and to meet the needs of the workforce and the job placement that's going on there. And so just this past September, our board approved for us an Associates of Applied Science in Medical Informatics. These are people that deal with the technology of managing health records. They're not necessarily the people sitting at a computer entering your doctor's report into your personal file, but these are the people that manage the technology. We also got approved for entertainment media production. Obviously, being this close to Nashville, there are lots of people that are interested in getting into the entertainment business. And Belmont and MTSU and some of the 4-year colleges have bachelor's degrees that offer an entryway into this field. But what happens is a student starts this program and they don't get to touch any real equipment or do any real work until their junior year. And so we created an Associates of Applied Science degree program that allows students on the first day of college to go into a state-of-the-art recording studio and to begin to put their hands on that type of equipment. We also have a video production concentration. We have a songwriting concentration. We have a production concentration. So whichever way a student wants to go, they can get some real hands-on experience. As we were creating this program, I actually had lunch with a recording executive, well-known in Nashville, and we laid out for him what we wanted to do, what we thought we should do, and he kind of put his blessing on it by saying, well, if I was creating a college program, I would do exactly what you're doing. So we're very excited about that possibility. A couple of years ago, we started up a veterinarian technology program. These are licensed individuals that work alongside a veterinarian in large or small animal practice. You know, Americans spend more on their pets than they do on candy. And so there's lots of money being spent on pets. I had the privilege when I was back in Chattanooga of starting up a program like this, and we partnered with a hospital there, a veterinarian hospital, and I tell you, it was better equipped than my doctor's office. It's really state-of-the-art, and so we're coming up for accreditation shortly on that program. We're real excited about that program. The other thing that we've learned is that time is the enemy. The longer it takes a student to complete that degree or certificate, the more likely that something will happen that will cause them to stop out. Again, most of our students are working. Most of them have a family that they're caring for. Most of them have other responsibilities outside of college. And so the longer it takes them, the more likely that a sick child or a sick parent or a job emergency is going to cause them to stop out. So we've created several programs in what we call the fast track. For example, this fall we started a fast track for criminal justice. Students can complete a criminal justice associate's degree in 15 months instead of the usual 24. And we've got others like early childhood education and logistics that we're moving in that direction as well. And we're seeing success as students move through the program much quicker than they would under regular sorts of going to class. We also believe that education doesn't stop at the classroom door. And so we're trying to internationalize our campus. We're trying to involve our students in opportunities to study abroad. Again, we're part of a consortium, this time the Tennessee Consortium for International Studies, composed of all of the Tennessee Board of Regents, colleges, and universities. It would be impossible for Ball State to get enough students together to go to Greece, for example, as you see pictured here. But between all the colleges and universities, we could put together a group that's large enough to make it economically feasible for us to travel abroad. And so in addition to the travel abroad opportunities, we're trying to enrich our campus environment. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had a Latin Fiesta Day on a Saturday to bring new cultures into our campus. This past year, 55 students participated in study abroad opportunities. Over the past few years, we've been to 10 different countries. This picture, I had the opportunity in June to visit with some of our students that were in China. Two of those students were studying sociology. One of them was studying logistics. The gentleman in the red shirt standing closest to me is Mr. George Wilson, the teacher of our logistics program. And he was teaching a logistics course in China. And so they got to tour the airport in China. You can't get students into an airport here. But they got to tour the behind-the-scenes baggage handling and freight handling of an airport. They got to tour the Walmart distribution center in Shanghai. Can you imagine what a facility that must be like? So these students were able to get an experience that they couldn't possibly get here in the States. The other thing we're doing outside of the classroom is service learning, service-learning. We're giving students an opportunity to take their classroom knowledge out into the real world, often with a nonprofit organization, and to use those skills in service. Through September, through the third quarter of this year, we had over 1,800 students participating in service learning. That amounted to over 13,000 hours of service. And part of that I'm particularly proud of is of those hours of service, 442 of those were service to military families. And so again, we're taking classroom knowledge. The service has to be tied to the curriculum. It's good to serve, but it's better when you can serve and learn at the same time. And then our sports teams are a learning opportunity as well. This past year, we didn't learn how to win the state championship, but we did have a good schedule. But I'm very proud of our sports teams and their academic achievements. We had a men's baseball player and a men's basketball player, both achieved highest GPA in the state. Our women's softball team had the All-American team average, and our graduation rate among our athletes is almost 75%. So we're real thrilled about that as well. One of the things I challenged the college to do is that we're going to make student success job one, borrowing from Lee Iacocca a little bit. And so we're doing lots of things to try to help our students succeed, not just because that's how we're funded, yes, that's part of it, but also because we want our students to become productive citizens in this community and in this region. And so we're doing things like we're providing them with a 24/7 online tutoring service. If at 1 a.m. in the morning they're stuck on biology, they can log in and get real-time, real-world, real person. As far as we know, they're not in India. Real person help with whatever problem it is they're having in biology. We're providing supplemental instruction, mandatory tutoring sessions that students have to attend associated with some of our more difficult classes. So we're doing everything we can to help students succeed. So along those lines, how many degrees and certificates did Ball State award this past year? Well, 2,200. 2,200 degrees and certificates that, again, gave people the credentials to move on to a four-year college or the skills that they need to get a living wage job. In addition to our credit offerings, we have a continuing education department that offers courses that some people would classify as personal interest, things like ballroom dancing, but also we do a lot of workforce training and contract training for business and industry in our area. And I have that OSHA Education Center thing in green to remind me that just within the past few weeks, we've received notification that Volunteer State will be one of 28 OSHA Education Centers in the nation. And so we're anxious to get that program started. We'll be able to serve companies throughout the Southeast and throughout the nation, for that matter, to help them meet their needs for occupational safety and hazard moderation. And then the other thing I've challenged the campus is we want to be the cultural center of this community. When people think about the arts or drama or music or poetry or literature, we want them to think first about Volunteer State. And so we offer a wide variety of arts types of entertainment. We have a Christmas concert coming up soon. We have an art display, a sculpture art display in the Rae Building right now, a professional artist that has his work on display. Last week we had a speaker from China, from Shanghai, and a speaker from Great Britain, both of them presenting on doing business in the new China, doing business in the new Europe, those sorts of things. And again, you're going to hear very shortly about something called One Book, One Community. We had a meeting recently between the college librarians and the public librarians, and sometime in the next year or so, less we hope, we're going to challenge the whole county to read one book and to discuss it and to have it for book clubs. And then we're going to bring the author to our campus for a presentation. And so it's going to be an exciting event for the community. Finally, in closing, we are so appreciative of the foundation that works alongside the college. It's a separate 501c3 corporation whose sole purpose is to support the college and to support the students. Several of our foundation board members are in this room. It's the opportunity for people to give to the college and reap the tax benefits. I understand that the Chamber Foundation has given money to our foundation to help with scholarships. This is also the agency that supports our Alumni Association. And so I run into people all the time that say, oh, I'm an alumni of Volunteer State, and I want to know, well, are you getting our magazine? If you're not, we need to get you on our list to get our Alumni Association magazine. So that's what I have to say about Volunteer State. I hope I told you something you didn't know before. And so I think we have maybe like 2 minutes, where's Brenda, for questions. So I'll be happy to take any questions I can. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, I was wondering, you had mentioned they changed the funding aspect from enrollment to graduate, correct?
Yes.
Now, are we still including those folks who are enrolled just for one class at a time, or did they modify that?
It's kind of a point system. I don't think anybody understands this funding formula except maybe the guy that created it. The way I try to describe it, it's like a point system. And so if we get a student, if a student comes to us and they're deficient, they're not at college level, and we get them to college level, we get a point. If we get them to the place where they have earned 12 hours of credit, we get another point. 24 hours, 36, etc. If we get them a degree or certificate, we get a point. If we get them a job, we get a point. Even the continuing education that Hillary Maraveni does, we get points for providing that for the community as well. If a person is first in the family to attend college, we get a point and a half for them. If they're a low-income student, we get a point and a half. So we are rewarded just for those students that are working through part-time on a limited basis. That does, you'll hear some figures about Tennessee's community colleges have a graduation rate of 12% or 13%, which sounds abysmal. But just keep in mind, that's a 3-year completion rate. If you don't finish in 3 years, you don't get counted in that percentage rate. And so the funding formula is more fair in that it doesn't count a percentage rate, it counts the actual number that finish. Yes, ma'am?
Is age factor into that?
No. We are
So
funding.
they don't discriminate if you're an older, like an adult returning, rather than just a high school?
No, we're funded the same if you're 18 or if you're 80. Well, thank you again very much. I hope that you'll take an opportunity to come to our campus for one of these cultural events, or if you just happen to be in the vicinity, drop by campus. We're just this close to finishing the renovation of our main entrance, and it looks beautiful, if I do say so myself. Of course, I had nothing to do with it. It was already planned and under construction when I got here, but I'm taking credit for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Faulkner. It's really a pleasure to hear about all the wonderful things that are going on at Volunteer State Community College. Having spent a good deal of time on that campus myself, it's just really, really rewarding to see the innovation and the flexibility and the changes that are happening. And your leadership is going to take the school in even higher direction. So we appreciate you being here very much. Sure, absolutely. Okay, we have one other person who is going to come forward now and make an announcement, and I believe that you're going to be really interested in what Erling has to tell you. This is kind of Education Day, it seems like. Erling England from the Department of Education is going to come and talk to us a little bit about Teach Tennessee.
And I'm going to use my teacher voice because once you get one, you never lose it. And I want to thank Wendy and Brenda, and please thank Amanda for so graciously allowing me through a phone call to just invite myself in today. That works so well. I'm going to try that at some other places that I might want to attend in the near future. But we were brainstorming at the Department of Education with my staff, talking about the Teach Tennessee teacher licensing program, about how we could do a more personal attack, I guess at this point, that our application window is open for our training for 2013, rather than just a website or a billboard or something of that nature. And I had such good results working with the West Wilson Chamber years ago with my students at Mount Juliet and being a Rotarian with Mount Juliet Morning Rotary, and I thought, what better group than chambers and civic groups, because your circle, when we think about it, your customers, your clients, your friends, your family, your neighbors, all the people that you all come in contact with on a daily basis. And what if, during some of those conversations with some of those folks, you're talking to someone who's maybe wanting to change their career, maybe getting ready to look at retirement but doesn't want to let go totally and do a second career. Or maybe you're talking to someone who has been downsized in this economy. Or maybe you even have in your circle a fresh college graduate with that 4-year degree that Mom and Daddy have paid lots of money for. And, for example, we have a young man with a degree in engineering from Vanderbilt who's teaching math in one of our high schools. And, you know, we're looking at, we've got a lot of great teachers in Tennessee. But at this point in time, 50% of them can retire tomorrow. And we're really looking solidly at how we're going to replace those folks because according to our data, one university in Tennessee graduated a physics teacher last year. And when we think about statewide needing teachers of that type, we have a problem there. So my whole point in being with you today for just a couple of minutes that they graciously allowed me is to have you leave here with embedded in your memory. And I know some of you all are my age, but you know, let's open those cells now and let's embed for a minute. Embed in your memory 2 words: teach Tennessee. And I've left a little brochure along with my cards on the table because this, folks, is an almost free. The time to do this program is nothing compared to a 4-year degree to do a teaching license. This is operated by the Tennessee Department of Education with 2 institutes in the summer for folks who have a degree, a bachelor's, but they do not have a teaching credential. And we will take those folks and license them through our program, and then next fall, they will be eligible to find a job in any public high school or middle school in Tennessee. We're not touching elementary school because that's just a little bit more education involved because I have one of those and I know what I had to go through to do that. But definitely from middle schools and high schools. So if you have someone in your circle of friends and you're thinking that this might fit them at this point in time, particularly with that much smaller increment of time and money, almost zilch, and it's something that they might be interested in doing as a second career or even a new career, please share Teach Tennessee, and that's all they have to do to Google our website and then get a number to call me or some of my staff, and we will take it from there. We have a veterinarian teaching 8th grade science at J.W. Ellis Middle School. She came through our program. We have a retired neurosurgeon teaching 7th grade math in Sullivan County. So we've got some great folks out there, about 300 plus at this point, since we started this program in 2005. What you know will make a difference. And if you've ever thought about, or anyone in your circle has thought about giving back to a career in education, I can tell you it's one of the most rewarding careers that you can do is either a first career, a second career, or a third career. So thank you for allowing me to be here today. I hope I didn't overstep my seconds, and I'll be around a little bit afterward if you have some specific questions or things you'd like to chat with me about, your brother's, mother's, second cousin's friend, that they might be interested in this type of thing. Figure that one out.
But we have several connection opportunities. If y'all are not familiar with the fact that we have added some mini workshops to our Tuesday morning coffee connection program, please be watching the emails that Amanda sends each week. We are coming up with some wonderful topics. Next week, how many in this room would like to improve your cash flow? Come on, you're in business. I know you want some money. We have a topic coming up, and Keely Wellen is going to present how to increase your bottom line by improving your cash flow. So next Tuesday, which I believe is the 13th, I don't have the calendar in front of me, show up at our office at 7:45 for coffee, and we'll make connections at 8 o'clock. And we have a special day next week, because as soon as we get done with that program, we're going to head over to Wilson Bank Trust for a special ribbon cutting. They're going to feed us a little bit. So if you want to come that morning, be ready to eat, and we got the coffee and they got the donuts. So every Wednesday you can have leads exchange. So we have about 25 to 40 people every week coming to the chamber office from noon until 1. So if you want to build some relationships outside of your normal group, show up at our office next Wednesday. We'll be happy to make some introductions for you. And where is... Oh, and today's a special day, because we all know we're going to have some new aldermen and different elected officials. So our business after hours on the 15th, we're going to invite all of these elected officials to join us, and we're going to do a combined business after hours and reception. So show up at... Cassie, raise your hand. We're going to follow her home, because we're going to be in her neighborhood at Windsor Bay off Walton Ferry Road. This good old home is going to host an event at their model home. So if you make it to Walton Ferry Elementary, you make it too far, but you can park there, and we will shuttle you back over to the model home. That goes from 5 until 7. The Christmas program, please make reservations to attend. Not good all, the Goddard School is going to bring their kids in, and they're going to do their Christmas program for us on the floor, so you don't want to miss that. And we want to fill this room next month. So Cassie's got a lot of great events coming up, so I'm going to let you see her for details, but right now just save the date. The Business Showcase is February 21st, and the Mid-10 Home Show will be back at the Expo Center March 16th and 17th. So if you want vendor information, Cassie will see you at the door. Did everybody get in the goal? We were late on the goal. She's got the info on this one.
And I can do this. Listen to that. There we go. Okay, and one more event that I want to make sure that you all know about. Trolleys and Troubles is a shopping event that happens actually on December 1. But wrapped around that this year, we're working on a city-wide open house so that any retailer in town is eligible to participate. And what we're trying to do is just kind of push folks out to shop in Hendersonville over a 4-day period. There's a billboard that's already gone up. There's a $500 cash prize at the end of that, so that those folks who shop and spend a little money have the eligibility to get their names thrown in there. So look around marquees, look at the billboard, that sort of thing. But the weekend is November the 30th through December the 30th. We've got 4 days to make it happen.
Signature Cleaners does this drawing for us every month for the last 25 years. And Mark Bensel, you get some dry cleaning this month.
All right, Mark.
We have 2 tickets, we're going to do 2 drawings, but I believe it's the Women's Club. They have a First Kiss pre-shopping ticket for, I think it's the Mistletoe Market. It's a new event, but we're going to do 2 tickets for that. So I know you men are just dying. Johnny Garrett. You can send your wife shopping and you can go do something. Especially the kids.
What is it?
Yes. And Chuck Porter.
You get to kiss Chuck. Surprise. No hands.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ray. If you'll stick around for a few minutes, we'd love to get a photo with you. Dr. Faulkner, thanks so much for your presentation today. Scott Line, thank you again for all of your work with the Chamber Foundation. I hope all of you have already had a chance to vote. My mantra is vote early and vote often. But regardless, if you've not voted yet, please do that this afternoon. And I wish every one of you a great afternoon and evening, and we'll see you back at the Chamber very